Welcome to TOON Army TV Live match reaction. It's just finished at St James's Park. Newcastle United 2, West Bromwich Albion 1. That's back-to-back wins now for the TOON, and it's a welcome 3 points on the board yet again. Beating Crystal Palace, we knew going into the game today that it was a must-win. We're not going to have an easier game all season to beat a struggling West Bromwich Albion side, and we've certainly did that today at St James's Park. We made light work of it, as we always seem to do in most games. You know, we gave West Brom a lot of the ball, and at one point you're thinking, not again. You know, taking the lead 1-0, and you let West Brom straight back into the game. You know, it was a good finish for West Brom. I give Furlong, you know, the benefit there. It's a good finish, but he shouldn't be allowed to score from there. You know, not a full-back anyway. But Dwight Gale, you know, Gale Force comes on. And Jacob Murphy, you know, a good substitution there by Steve Bruce, you know, brings Jacob Murphy on. He whips a delicious ball into Dwight Gale, and he just attacks it. And it's a great ball, great header. It's a bullet under the inside of the crossbar and bounces in. And it's a brilliant finish. And I'll take that, given the fact that you're thinking, 1-1, not again. It's not the kind of result that you want. But we've managed to grab that late goal with Dwight Gale, and we've rescued the points back. We've managed to claim all 3 points, and that now moves us into the top 10 in the Premier League. Like I say, not the most convincing performance, not the best I've seen, but we got the job done. That's the main thing. There was a couple of negatives I can take from that game, and that is giving West Brom too much of the ball, in my opinion. That shouldn't happen at home. And also just surrendering possession too quickly as well, and just allowing West Brom to break on with. It's good all playing the breaking game, but if you can't put the ball in the back of the net and take your chances, then you know you're going to come unstuck, and we nearly did in that game. So yeah, I've decided to go live for a little bit, not too long tonight, and then gives you a chance just to get your thoughts in after this afternoon's 2-1 win at home to West Brom at St James's Park. And yeah, if you want to come in the live stream, you're more than welcome to. Like I say, I won't be going live for long, just for maybe half an hour, if that. And then I'll be looking forward to the Leeds game, doing a match preview for that in the coming days. So we've had our first comment of the afternoon from Alan, and he has said, Kraft should have stopped the cross. He is so easy to pass. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Watching the game, the goal taken by Miggy was a great finish, you know, for Alan St. Maximin, sorry, not Alan St. Maximin, for Joe Linton to pick him out, to be an acres of space in the box. He took his chance well, 1-0. And then West Brom just grew into the game, you know, they were finding the rhythm. And yes, okay, we had chances where we should really have made it 2 or 3-0 with Miggy and Joe Linton. Should have, you know, buried the game really by at least the 30th minute. And then West Brom, you know, they had chances of their own, and Gallagher, for me, should put the ball in the back of the net. It should be 1-1 just before half-time. But we'll go into the break 1-0 up. And then second half, for me, I said it all along, if we just continue to sit back and allow West Brom to dictate the possession, to dictate the play, then they'll get the equaliser. And they certainly did that 50 minutes in, and we'll find ourselves 1-1, and I'm just like, really? Do you know what I mean? It's just typical Newcastle, letting the guard down. Yes, you can blame Jamal Lewis for the goal for West Brom to equalise, but it's a team collective, in my opinion. Sitting back, not really taking the game to West Brom at 1-0, it's always a dangerous scoreline. And in the end, we've been bailed out by Dwight Gale, who got with that very good, sensational header to make it 2-1. And it's a very good goal. I'll give him that. It was a great cross by Jacob Murphy. I really do love Jacob Murphy, and it was good intelligence by the lads just to pick him out and to see Dwight Gale, and for Dwight Gale to make that run and power the header, you know, under the crossbar into the back of the net. I'll take it, because had we drawn that game 1-1, then for me it would have been 2 points dropped. So I'm grateful that we've managed to come away with the 3 points, because to be fair, West Brom, they gave us a game. They did. They come up and they really had a go at us, and you know, they weren't just sitting back, allowing us to do what we wanted. You know, at 1-0 down, they could easily have crumbled. They didn't. If anything, going 1-0 up, it kind of spurred West Brom on to have a go themselves, to get back into the game. And we knew Bilic was under pressure. We knew that if they'd obviously lost the game, he could lose his job. But on that performance, I think Bilic should technically keep his job because it wasn't actually a bad performance by West Brom. I just think we have a little bit more quality, and that was shown in the game. So we'll have a look at the comments, see what you've had to say. Gaming Train says Shelby did absolutely nothing. I thought Shelby didn't play too bad, actually. It's just the final third that let him down. There was a few players today that were a little bit off, in my opinion. Didn't see too much of Joe Linton. Miggy didn't have his best second half. Great first half, but there was just too many just sitting back, allowing West Brom to play how they wanted to play, which was a real shame. Crazy Ginger Jake Holden says TOON Army, yep, great result. It's a Jody, get rid of Joe Linton and keep Gale, Wilson and Carroll. I'm actually the total opposite. I just don't think Dwight Gale's good enough. Don't get me wrong, it's a good header, but I don't think he's good enough for Premier League level. I just think he's finished. Carroll, he's finished as well. But Callum Wilson, he had a decent game. Probably not his best game. The service wasn't always there. But, at the end of the day, where the chances fell our way, we took them both. Squadron Mustafi, howdy boys. Same comment, to be fair to Bruce, his substitutes made a massive impact. Yeah, we had to make the subs because in that second half, you're thinking 1-1. We can't be allowing this game to finish 1-1. West Brom, fair play to them. They battled really well in the game. However, I felt with the control that we had in the first, half an hour, we should really have been 2 or 3 up. And that's what happens when you get sloppy and you sit back and you invite any sort of opposition onto you, like West Brom. They're going to get a chance eventually. And the warning signs were there when Gallagher missed. Let's be fair, I thought that was fine in the back of the net. I really did think before half-time West Brom had equalised. And I had that slight itch in my head that West Brom were going to equalise because we were going to sit back. And I was proven to be right. West Brom, got back into the game. And let's be fair, it's a good finish. However, the ball should not find its way across to a fullback. In my opinion, I feel that's really embarrassing. Yeah, it's a good finish. I'll give him it. But it's a really poor bit of defending by Jamal Lewis. But it's not just that. It's a team collective. The fact that we, fell to that equaliser, West Brom, it was a case of how do we respond? How do we, get back into the game in terms of taking or retaking the lead, if you like. And fair play to the lads, didn't give up. Yeah, West Brom, had some chances to potentially nick it. I'll give them that. But West Brom are down there for a reason because they make too many errors. And it was proven with our winning goal, which was a very good goal. The header was well taken by Dwight Gale. I'll give him that. He's not my most favourite player at the club, but to be fair, right place at the right time. Sam Johnston, the keeper for West Brom, had absolutely no chance. And to be fair, even at 2-1, I still wasn't convinced. West Brom were still putting us under pressure, and that was a real concern. And I am a little bit concerned going into Leeds and Fulham that if this is how open we're going to be, if we're just going to sit back and give West Brom all of the possession, then I am concerned, going into the rest of the games. Because going into it, yeah, I'm happy we've won the game. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just disappointed that we gave West Brom a lot of possession. We gave them the chance to break it down. And had that been a better side today, then we could have lost that. We're very fortunate it's West Brom. And I don't want to, I've got nothing against the West Brom fan base. I just don't think your squad's up to Premier League standard. And it obviously was shown this afternoon. But I feel like we've got off for one. We really have. And two, obviously, lapses of concentration for West Brom, have given us the 2-1 win. I didn't think it was going to be as tight as what's been in the scoreline. I was expecting a few more goals, but I am grateful, for the 3 points. Obviously, we've got to move on to Leeds on Wednesday. But if there's anyone today who stood out, let us know down below in the comments section. I won't be going live for long, so if you are going to chat, make it quick. And I will be moving on to the Leeds match preview very, very soon. Let's have a look. Cruzy, hello mate, how's it going? We've had better games. We got 3 points, which is what matters. Yeah, it does. It's the 3 points that count, which put us into the top 10 and obviously puts further pressure on Slavian Bilic and West Brom. I didn't think we were convincing, to be fair, but I am a little bit concerned going into Leeds that if we give the ball away too cheaply like we have done throughout that game, then clubs like Leeds and Fulham and whatnot, they'll just punish you. They really will. They'll just punish you. But I give credit to Steve Bruce where it's due. There were good subs, and he kind of got away with it in the end. It was a bit of a routine sub, really, taking off the likes of Kraft and bringing on, Jacob Murphy, who can, add a bit of pace into our side, who can, get the ball down and play. And I have to say, when the free kick was taken by Murphy, it's fantastic. It's pinpoint. It's every striker's dream. When that ball goes into the box, you've got to be in the right place at the right time. If it's a pinpoint header like it is, you've just got to finish it. It's as simple as that. And when I seen the ball go in, I was banking on Dwight Gale to put that in the back of the net, and it's just brilliant how he took it. And 2-1, I think it was a bit of a shot in the arm to West Brom, because they'd worked ever so hard in the second half, and we were just sort of sitting in there hitting them on the counter-attack. But then when you get your chances, you've got to take them, and we did that, especially in that second half. But my only real concern is when we're getting to the final third, we're still poor. We've still got to rectify that, because there was big chances there, for Almiron, Wilson, Joe Linton this afternoon, and they just didn't take them. And it's something Steve Bruce has got to work on the training ground over the course of the week, because against Leeds, I think they're going to be more of a tougher opposition than West Bromwich Albion. That's just my opinion on that. Good subs, yeah, I do agree with that. I think they did make a difference on the afternoon, and it was just good that Steve Bruce made the right subs at the right time, because there's been too many times where Steve Bruce has made the subs at the wrong time or just too late, and we've been caught cold and we've been beaten. So it's good to know that Steve Bruce made the changes that he did, and we managed to to see out the game. And to be fair, it was an inspiring sub, because the winning goal was obviously scored by Dwight Gale against his former club, who he was on loan at a couple of years ago. So it's good to see that he's got his goal. It'll give a bit of confidence going into Leeds as well on Wednesday evening. Richie stood out for me. Yeah, I thought he played quite well. I feel like Richie is a real leader, leads by example, takes the game by the scruff of the neck, and he didn't really panic when we weren't really getting enough of the ball. I think he just went with the flow of the game. And fair play, like I said, to the lads in general. I think at 1-1, it could have been easy to sit back and think, all right, okay, West Brom are playing well, we'll take the 1-1. We'll let West Brom play how they want to play, and if they score, they score. The lads just went at it, and they were looking for the second goal, which we got. But again, it shouldn't take, for us to go at 1-1. It could have been 2-3-0, by the half an hour mark. That's how routine the game was. But West Brom, yes, they had their threats, but I just didn't think they really do enough in games, and it was proven this afternoon. I just think in the final third, they lack a lot of experience, in my opinion, and it's something they're going to have to look at in the summer, or even earlier in the January if they've got money to spend. But I have to say, today we have got off with one, we really have, because had we drawn 1-1, it probably would have been a fair result on the reflection of the game, because West Brom had chances as well. So I don't want to just act like, oh, we've played really well and we've deserved it, because to be fair, West Brom gave as good as they've got, and that's because we allowed them to play. Retro NUFC said great results. Yeah, it was a good result. It's a welcome 3 points. That's back-to-back wins now. We've just got to keep it going, because we've got some tough fixtures coming up over the course of the next few weeks. We've got Leeds on Wednesday, followed by Fulham. I think they're 2 winnable games, in my opinion. And then we've got, I believe it's Brentford coming up after that, followed by, I think it's Liverpool, Man City, Leicester. So the games are coming thick and fast, but you can only beat what's put in front of you, and we've got the job done. Cruzy has said Miggy stood out today for me. Yeah, he played all right. I mean, first half, he took his goal really well. Good little intelligent run by Miggy, for Joe Linton to pick him out, to find the space, and he slotted it beyond the keeper. A bit of a nightmare start for him, if I'm honest. They were looking for a handball from Callum Wilson, but for me, that was no handball. It was a good bit of play. West Brom made a mistake right from the kickoff, and he took his goal well. To be fair, in the first half an hour alone, he could have got a couple of goals. So it was a case of we needed, a goal for Miggy just to up his confidence, because there's been rumours of, Miggy wanting to leave the club and go elsewhere. There's been rumours of this, rumours of that, and I kind of don't read into them too much, because it can really drain you. But yeah, I just feel like Bruce has kind of saved himself in a sense, because, like I say, that second half could have went badly wrong. It really could have done. especially at 1-1. The substitutions have definitely bailed them out, and the goal was well taken, like I say, by Dwight Gale. And it was just a case of, can we then go on and get a third, or can we hold on and we managed to do the last part, which was to defend and to stop West Brom, from getting that equaliser. So I'm kind of happy with that. I think it's a case of, well disciplined by the lads. I have to say that. And had we not picked up the 3 points today, like I say, it would have been 2 points dropped. So if anybody would like to come in the chat, I will leave a link, which I will do right now. If you bear with me just 1 second. There you go. So if you want to chat for maybe 5 minutes, feel free to click on the link, and we can talk about the game this afternoon that you've just witnessed. Newcastle 2, West Bromwich Albion 1. Truist has said Steve Bruce out. Yeah, I am still Steve Bruce out. I don't think he's good enough as a manager. Personally, he's been bailed out yet again by the subs, but it's a good result. I'll give him that, but he still needs to do a lot more work for me to try and win me over. And these are the sort of sides against West Brom and Crystal Palace. We should be beating these type of sides. It's against the better side, so I think we need to improve and not just sit back. But even this afternoon, I wasn't happy with the way we're set up in terms of allowing West Brom to have all of the ball and to allow them to play how they wanted to play. Because had that been against a better side, then I think we could have lost that this afternoon. We really could have done. Let's have a look at the guests. We've got Jay. Hello, Retro, mate.
Hello, Sharky, my old friend. How are you?
Yes, I'm a lot happier after that. Well, Newcastle 2, West Brom 1. Give us your thoughts.
Well, Sharky, my thoughts are great first half. Got the goal. Then, for me, what stopped in the second half for a bit. That the West Brom must have had more possession number, but West Brom had that equaliser in the 50th minute. I was very gutted. But when the goal came from right Gungy, I was jumping for joy.
So, yeah, Newcastle take the lead through Miguel Almiron. Good finish, 1-0.
Yeah.
Do you not think, though, at 1-0 up, it was quite early? We did, score after, 20 seconds? We had chances, and we should really have made it to a free by at least half an hour.
We should have.
Were you not worried about West Brom, though, that they were having a lot of the ball in that first half and that they had that big chance with Gallagher to equalise? Were you not concerned that they could have equalised at some point?
They could have beaten one.
Could have done on a different day. That's what I'm saying. I think, given the fact that we allowed West Brom to have a lot of the ball, we didn't really get out a lot. The first sort of half an hour, I thought it was good. We got that lead, but we never really sort of kicked on in that first half. We could have got 2 or 3. Dwight Gale. Sorry, I keep saying Dwight Gale because he got the goal. Joe Linton, Joe Linton and Callum Wilson and Mickey, they all had chances, but they weren't really falling. They weren't really going in. And when West Brom grew into the game, around the half an hour mark, when Gallagher missed that big chance, I'm thinking West Brom are going to equalise. Yeah, at some point, we managed to get into the break, 1-0 up. But I had that sort of second thought that West Brom, are going to equalise because we're not keeping enough of the ball. West Brom having a lot of the possession, and when you do that, then if you invite West Brom on, which we were doing, then it was only a matter of time before they equalised. And second half, 5 minutes in, we're 1-1, and you're thinking the worst is going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah, I was sitting watching. I was like, "No, please don't, please no, not a draw. Please get the win." I was like, "Con Murphy got the ball in that box now," and he did. I was like, "You beautiful cross it was." I was just sitting there, looking for draw. I was like, "No, would have won it." Yes, we did.
Yeah, I kind of had that feeling as well because at 1-0, it's only a slender lead. There's not much in it. Yeah. Any side that has a bit of momentum could get back into the game. And to be fair to Furlong, it was a good finish. But the way the ball was just put across to him, I think Jamal Lewis should get a little bit closer, maybe put the tackle in. But I'm not just blaming Jamal Lewis for the goal. I think it's a whole team collective. I think defensively we'll let ourselves down. And I was thinking to myself, well, that goal was coming. That's been coming from about the 30th minute. From the minute we took the lead and we missed those big chances in the first half.
We did.
And I just think, you're thinking at 1-1, West Brom could win this.
They could have. Could have beat one. Could have snapped one.
And then obviously, we managed to pull ourselves together. West Brom, to be fair, had chances. They could have easily taken the lead. They could have actually nicked something from the game. They could have got all 3 points. But Dwight Gale and Murphy comes on. Good subs there by Bruce, to be fair. Good times of the game, not bringing them on with like 2 minutes to go. Jacob Murphy puts that ball in, and what a header by Dwight Gale. Absolutely fantastic. It's a bullet, and it's the sort of goal that he needs to come back from injury just to boost his confidence.
Yeah, I agree with Sharky. I was like, Gale, come on, Gale. Come on, you can do this, Gale. You can do this for your club, man. You can do it. He did. Which is brilliant to see him back in the team, back on the bench for like a long time out.
What did you make of West Brom in that second half then? I mean, even at 2-1, did you have the feelings that they could have got back into the game at 2-2? Because I did. I think they had some chances.
Yeah,
we were still 2-1.
That young lad, that Sam, whoever his name is.
Sam Gallagher?
Gallagher, yeah. I think he could have scored. But it was quite sloppy because, they were Pearson, they were trying to tackle, but we were quite defending. But we got the win. I'm happy we got the win last night. Today, sorry. On Sky Sports at 3 o'clock. What's very usual for Newcastle United fans.
To be fair, for West Brom, I think they just shot themselves in the foot. I just think with the goal that we scored, I mean, I seen Bilic in the dugout, and you couldn't believe with the way the ball went in, the header. I mean, to be fair, it was a great header. It deserves to win the game, but for them to get back into the game like they did, to work so hard on and off the ball, to then concede, like I say, is that sort of a bye-bye to Slaven Bilic? Has he lost his job now with that? Because to be fair, if I'm the West Brom owner looking at that result, and you look at the performance, I didn't think West Brom actually played that bad.
They did, right?
But that's because we allowed them to play, though. Do you know what I mean? That's been our problem all season.
Mm-hmm.
Right, we're going to have a look at some more comments, Jay, just while you're in. If anyone does want to join in the chat, feel free. Just click on the link.
Leave it. Need to put on, mate. Need to leave because I need to be phone is charging up. Okay,
then. Well, you watch what you're doing, Jay, and enjoy the rest of your night. Take care, mate.
And you know who I am. Please check me out better on NUFC. I'm the Newcastle YouTube as well. Same with Sharky, but check my channel as well.
Make sure you head off to subscribe to Retro NUFC. Does a lot of very similar content. So, Jay, nice to have you on, mate, and enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care, mate. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All the best.
Bye-bye. Right, we'll continue with the comments. That was Jay. So there is a space if you would like to chat to me about the result tonight. Link is in the comments section. Just press that, and we can have a chat about the game. So what do we do with Gale out of contract and of the season? We give him a new contract, new deal. Personally, I wouldn't give him a new deal just yet. It's a good goal, great-headed goal. However, he's still got a lot of work to do. Dwight Gale still needs to be his consistent self, from the Championship. And let's be fair, he's technically scored against a side that's come up from the Championship, which is his level. A side that in West Brom look as if they're going to go back to the Championship if they don't strengthen their side. But in terms of the goal, he took it very well. It's only going to do his confidence the world of good, and I'm all for him. Trying to get back into that starting lineup, but he has to work hard. He has to try and ruffle a few feathers, if you like. You look at Joe Linton and Callum Wilson. Can he do it? Well, we'll wait and see on that. But right now, I think it's a little bit too early. I'm sure the club will look at it maybe in the January to stop some suitors, or they might do it at the end of the season to see where he's at. Because what the club don't want to do is offer him a contract, then he goes back to what he has been doing previously, is getting injured and not really making an impact. But to be fair to the lad, he took his goal really well. But does it warrant a new contract? I think for me, it's too early. Do you think Dwight Gale should go to Derby County or stay here? It all depends on the club. It depends on where we are in January squad-wise. If we don't have enough players, then it looks as if he's going to stay till the end of the season. But if he drops into the Championship, then it's probably not a bad move for him to give him, the confidence to, get him back to where he was, banging in the goals, in the Championship. It gives him that, that ability to play football as well. Like I say, the lad took his goal really well this afternoon. But for me, he has to stay consistent. He has to stay injury-free. Otherwise, he's back to square one. That's why I won't give him that contract too early. Daniel Graham. 3 very important points, and with Leeds and Fulham coming up, we need to keep up the momentum and a difficult Christmas period ahead of us. Yes, exactly. West Brom, they gave us a good game this afternoon, but that's because we allowed them to play. We allowed them to have all of the possession, which I was very frustrated with. But that's Steve Bruce football. It's boring, predictable, and fair play to West Brom. They took the initiative, especially at 1-0 down. They could easily have collapsed, and they didn't. But fair play to our lads, for not giving up at 1-1. We could easily have just thrown in the towel and lost that game 2-1. But we've turned it on its head. Dwight Gale, with a header, and it's a good goal. It's what you expect from your strikers. And for a game that we didn't really have enough possession in, I'm thinking, it's going to be another 1-1, isn't it? It's going to be another 2 points dropped at home. And bear in mind, we don't have a good home record under Steve Bruce. It is a welcome victory against West Brom. But you talk about Leeds, I will be doing a preview for that on Monday evening, so make sure you stick around the channel for that. But yeah, it'll be a big game. It'll be very similar to West Brom, Leeds side, who will have a lot of the ball. I expect them to be, all guns blazing from their defeat yesterday against West Ham. And then we've got Fulham, a very similar game to West Brom. I think a club that, prides itself on possession football, but a side that we should beat. In my opinion, and then obviously got Brentford and Liverpool and Man City and that coming up in Leicester. So yeah, the games don't get any easier really, but West Brom today, we've made light work of it, but it is a welcome 3 points. I will say that. Let's have a look at more comments. Right, okay. So overall, we looked the better side, but Jamal Lewis defensively is shocking. Joe Linton kept spilling opportunities due to the lack of quality. Thankfully, Dwight Gale has fire in his belly with his return. So yeah, first and foremost, Dwight Gale played ever so well when he come on, took his goal ever so well. Great header, poor defending by West Brom, but hey, I'll take it whichever way it comes. It's 3 points at home against a side that are looking to be relegated, back to the Championship. As for Jamal Lewis, yes, didn't have his best game. The defending was shocking for the West Brom equaliser. However, I don't just want to blame Jamal Lewis for it because it's a team collective. Defensively, we're at times a little bit all over the place. We, at 1-0 up, you're thinking, well, go on and get that second, go on and get that third, go on and get that fourth. You score after 20 seconds, try and kill off the game in the first half an hour. But we allowed West Brom to have all of the possession. And that's why I was frustrated, because at home, against clubs like West Brom, no offence, you've got to get at them. You've got to put them to the sword very quickly. And when you go 1-0 up, I can't believe that we just allowed West Brom to play. And I don't like that at all. That's something that Steve Bruce has got to change, because if we do that against Leeds and Fulham and Man City, Liverpool, against better sides, we're going to get punished. And West Brom, to be fair, they're bottom end for a reason, because they can't finish. And on another day, they could have actually won that game. So that's how lucky we are come the 90th minute. But in terms of Dwight Gale, I say he took it very well. Joe Linton was hitty-missy, but I have to give him credit for the assist to pick out, Almiron for the opening goal, because, it's intelligent. It's a good run by Almiron, open space, and he just slots it past the keeper. Poor defending by West Brom, and they've had the worst nightmare, in the space of 20 seconds. And we've had the dream start. So it could have went one or two ways, but we're very lucky in the end. But Dwight Gale just needs to continue his goal scoring streak in the next game against Leeds, if he gets his chance, maybe to start or off the bench. Jake said he's got 4 goals and 8 before he got injured. He knows where the net is. It's just injuries that's the problem, with Dwight Gale. Hugo has said Bruce got us so right today. Give the man a chance, because he's doing a great for us, and I'm just saying it. I just feel like his subs bailed him out this afternoon. I really do. If it wasn't for the subs, the game could have been completely different. We might even have lost that. Let's be honest. I'm just disappointed that we just sat back and we allowed West Brom to play how they wanted to play. And the West Brom, team, if they had a bit more quality, could have actually won that. But fair play to all lads, like I say, for not giving up, at 1-1, because, like I say, we could have lost that, 2 or 3-1, if it had been a better side. And we got that goal, the winning goal at the right time, I would say 82nd minute. We killed off West Brom's, momentum. But to be fair, they had chances to maybe get a 2-2 draw, and I wouldn't have complained. It's just, it wasn't my best performance. But I just think we need to be better against Leeds in terms of possession. We need to keep a hold of possession. We need to take our chances. We need to put the ball, in the back of the net. We need to score more goals than we are. Yes, it's a good 2-1 win. I'll take it. But I think against West Brom, there was chances there to make at least 4 or 5-1. There, Daniel Graham has said, if Gale stays fit and makes a change in the team with performances, I'd consider a first-year extension, but he has to earn it. Well, that's what I'm saying. Just because he scored a very good winning goal doesn't mean that he deserves a contract. He's got to work for it. He's got to earn it. And the season is still new, and he's got a lot of work to do. He's got to stay injury-free. But if he continues like that, when he scores important goals like he is, then why not? But I just think right now it's a little bit too early to be making those sort of decisions. Jake said, great content. Thanks very much, mate. And to anyone who is new, please subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit the like button. That would really help me out a lot. And get your comments down below. If you want to be part of the conversation this evening about the game, it's quite quiet, but if you want to talk, then make sure you get in. I will put a link in the comment section, so just so you get that, give me 1 second. And then we'll sort that out. Paste, yes. Bish bash bosh. There you go. So there is a link down below if you would like to chat. You're not made to chat if you don't want to, but if you would like to, it'll be great. Jake again says, what do you think of Kieran Clark's performances since coming back into the side? I think he's been quite solid. I think he's been decent. I've enjoyed having Kieran Clark back because I feel like he's solid. His strength on and off the ball is brilliant, and he really leads by example. I think he's a lot better than Jamal Lascelles, put it that way. We do have a guest. Who is that? It is Mr. PD Proudlock. Make sure you welcome him in to the stream. How's it going, Mr. PD Proudlock?
Oh, I'm just delighted. We've got the win.
Welcome into the stream, Mr. Lewis York. How's it going, mate?
Fine. Thank God we got the win. I'm doing fine. How are you doing tonight?
All good.
Get in! 1 second. I'm just going to get a can to celebrate. 1 second.
Oh, go on there, Shoggy.
Celebrate.
I don't drink, but here's what I've been drinking at the minute. Hang on, stupid.
Better than nothing. It's better than nothing.
To all TOON fans watching this, where am I holding this? I've got a Strongbow Dark Fruit. Let's celebrate.
I got Pepsi Max.
This is to all Newcastle fans watching and to Dwight Gill. Thank you very much. Nice. That was nice. I just thought I'd do a live reaction tonight rather than do like a quick thoughts because just get you more people on the chat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Peter, we'll start off with you then. So Newcastle 2, West Bromwich Albion 1. What did you make of that performance this afternoon at St James's Park?
I'm delighted we've got the win. Did well to take the lead. I am annoyed we'll let West Brom coming back into the game after we took the lead. Definitely. I mean, Jamal Lewis, why are you ball watching for that equalising goal?
To be honest with you, West Brom, they knew exactly what they were doing going into the match. I mean, I always had that slight doubt that something was going to happen. And so let's just digest the game. So first 20 seconds, we'll go 1-0 up. It was a good finish by...
the bathroom in the squad.
Yep, so we'll go 1-0 up. A good finish by Miggy Almiron. Joe Linton yet again picking out Almiron. It was a good run. He took his goal very well. What do you think of the start? I mean, 20 seconds in.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not the start West Brom wanted. Definitely not. I mean, concede a goal like that early on. I mean, that's just asking for trouble, definitely. But what I will give Bruce credit for was get the substitution correct. Bring on Dwight Gill, take Jamal Lewis off, because I thought Jamal Lewis was very poor the day. Dwight Gill comes up with a superb header.
You say, yes, the goal that was conceded was poor, and I do technically blame Jamal Lewis, but I think it's a team collective because when we went 1-0 up, in the first half an hour alone, yes, okay, West Brom had a lot of the ball, but we had chances, we had big gaping chances, one-on-ones where you're thinking Almiron, Joe Linton, they've got to put them in. You've got to make, you've got to, for me, in the first half an hour alone, we could have been 2 or 3 up and then you kill the game off.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, it's for Miggy. He's shooting at a very tight angle to try and get his second goal. I think the Joe Linton one, you could question, should he look for someone more in the box? But you can understand why he went for it. But
But that's what I'm saying. It 1-0 up. It's never really a comfortable scoreline, and you could just say after like the 25th minute, West Brom was starting to really get into the game, and they were creating chances. And I was saying to you in the group chat just before, well, you weren't in it, but I was saying in the group chat at half time, West Brom are having chances here, and that Gallagher, for me, you should put that in the back of the net. Any decent finisher would put that in.
It's the reason why he's there. West Brom has signed him on loan from Chelsea. Good young talent. He should look there to put that away, but I think for West Brom, from the second goal we conceded, how you've allowed Dwight Gill to get a header on that.
So that's what I'm saying. Half-time 1-0, I was still a little bit on edge because West Brom were growing into the game. That was the warning signs when Gallagher, missed. And like I say, any decent striker would have put that in. And then second half comes very similar to how we start. West Brom, go up the other end, same end, and they equalise. And to be fair to Furlong, it's a good finish. It's a rasper, no keeper saving that. But to allow the ball to travel to him, it is poor. I think Jamal Lewis, I don't know if you agree or disagree, but I think he should get closer.
He's got to. That's why I've said you shouldn't be ball watching like that. You get there quickly before the opposition player, you've got a chance of clearing that away. But just standing there like that.
Yeah. What about yourself, Lewis? When West Brom equalised, I mean, we could go for the first goal if you want. I mean, so you said you were in the back room.
But
so obviously,
I had on my PlayStation. I don't have Skype, but I have bought the Now TV. Obviously, I can link it to the sitting room TV as well. But I heard a massive cheer. My brother and my dad seen it was 1-0. And I had a look on the replay. It was actually a really good finish. And obviously talking about their goal. Just remember, Lewis was on the yellow card. You had to be careful.
He didn't have his best game today, if I'm being brutally honest.
But just remember, if he was on the yellow card, if he did a foul, any other foul, it might be a second yellow, like the game before, the filler game.
So yeah, Newcastle obviously take the lead. West Brom grow into the game. Gallagher misses. What are you thinking at half time then? Be 1-0 up? Are you on edge, or are you quite confident that Newcastle could go on and get the second?
I was confident we were going to still get the win. I said, because we had a prediction with me, my brother and my dad. I said, what's the score prediction? I said 2-1 Newcastle. Before the game started.
I was close. I said 3-1.
I was close as well. I went 2-0.
My dad said 3-1. My brother said 4-1.
I'm not having another good weekend of Premier League predictions. This is now the second week in a row. I need to be saved by Manchester United or the game later on and tomorrow. Otherwise, it's 2 weeks of nothing.
Oh yeah.
What's going on?
What is the City score? Have they kicked off yet?
Yeah, I think they have. Probably not.
Probably some. Yeah, because only be 9 minutes played.
So yeah, Lewis, obviously West Brom equalise. Your thoughts? I mean, personally, I think it should have been prevented, but the warning signs were there, though. Going into half time, that chances.
Yeah, warning signs were there, but just look at the bonus. That's a massive 3 points for us. That's what we need. 17 points from 10 games. It's better than last season.
Well, anyway, we'll go to the winning goal. So Steve Bruce obviously makes the changes, Peter, and I think they're very two good substitutes by Steve Bruce, and I think they've worked out in his favour. I think they're subs that he had to make in order to change things up because it just wasn't working. The longer we went the same routine, I think West Brom could have nicked it, and we killed off their momentum. But to bring on Jacob Murphy, who's got a bit of pace about him, to bring on Dwight Gill, who we know has a bit of pace as well, who can make that run like he did, who knows where the back of the net is, we know that. For Murphy to put in that delicious ball, and what a ball that was. I mean, any striker, even Ibrahimovic or Messi.
It was a peach of a cross.
Very brilliant cross indeed as well. I'm going to give, as I mentioned, Bruce credit for that. Dwight Gill was at the right place at the right time. He's back. And at least you got him to bring off the bench if you could say it's not working out.
Well, this is it. With Dwight Gill now scoring, does that potentially, I'll ask you both, does that relegate Joe Linton to the bench then for Leeds? Because Dwight Gill might have put himself into Steve Bruce's plans. I mean, if he's scoring past West Brom, Leeds are a similar side who, yes, we know they've done all right this season, but still they're very vulnerable to the counter-attack. We need a bit of pace. So maybe you could go Callum Wilson and Dwight Gill up front, both two strikers with a bit of pace.
You could do that, but I think because Dwight Gale's come back from a pretty long-term injury, you don't want to rush him straight away too much. That's
I suppose you've got a point there. Lewis, your thoughts?
I agree. Like, just don't play him on the weekend against Leeds. Maybe play him against Brentford in the cup.
What about Fulham?
But like, just maybe bring on for the half. Have him for half an hour, see how he is, and then at the second half, bring him on at the 60th minute or so.
Yeah, I suppose so. It's going to be interesting because we've got games now coming up every 3-4 days, twice a week now until I think it's a start of the or the end of January, something like that. But with that goal that Dwight Gale scored, I mean, I couldn't believe it. Like for Dwight Gale, to head that beyond the keeper as well. I mean, you look at Slavian Bilic and you're thinking, well, they've worked ever so hard to get back into the game. At one point they could have nicked it 2-1 themselves. But the way the ball was coming into the box, it's good intelligence, by Dwight Gill, to beat the defender and to put it past the keeper. I mean, let's be fair, not many keepers are saving that.
Probably not even De Gea. Maybe De Gea, but maybe not.
I don't think any keeper saves that personally. It's an absolute bullet. Like no one's actually marking him. I mean, he's literally got the freedom, of the box. If the Gallagher, I mean, just imagine if the fans were there the day for that. Imagine.
There'd be fans going onto the pitch.
It would have been absolute limbs. There would have been scenes, wouldn't it?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
As Lee would say, scenes.
But like I say, all in all, so we've got that goal in the 82nd minute, 2-1 up. We was thinking we could see the game out, or I mean, I was looking at thinking West Brom, they weren't like backing down with it. They were looking to try and get back into it.
True, but I think we just had enough to see the game out after we got that second goal.
Lewis,
but I'm so confused why we brought on like two extras, like the forwards, and then we got our second goal, and then they took Miggy off for who was it? Like I forgot his name.
Yedlin. I think it's more squad rotation because we've got games coming every 3-4 days, so you're gonna have to rest players.
Plus, we only had 11 fit players playing.
But that's it, and it's not only that. We've got to keep our best players, and we've got to keep everyone fit. That's the most important thing, because when we play Leeds next week, the last thing that we want is to see our best players injured or whatever. It's about being sensible, in this situation. And when the final whistle went at 2-1, I was kind of relieved, but it wasn't the game I was kind of expecting. I was expecting a bit more from us. I mean, go on, Lewis.
When we got our first goal, like in 19-20 seconds, let's say 19.5 seconds, I thought we were going to get even more goals. But typical Newcastle, isn't it? To always leave it to the last minutes.
Well, this is the thing, Peter. We don't make anything easy for ourselves, do we? I mean, even at 1-0, we got that early goal, and you're thinking to yourself, is it too early to score? We've opened it up for West Brom, to get back into the game. They've got 89 plus 6 minutes on top, so now you're on 95 minutes to get something. And obviously they did get the equaliser, but I am a little bit concerned going into Leeds, just the fact that Leeds are a better side, and that if we surrender possession like we had done this afternoon, they're not going to make it easy for us.
No, that's very true. Like, we've got to be careful. I think Leeds have done very well this season, even though they did get the defeat yesterday against West Ham. But I think we've got a chance against Leeds.
Yeah. So, lads, so obviously the Newcastle 1-2-1. Man of the match. Did anyone stand out for you today?
I'm going to go with Miggy for my man of the match.
Miggy and Joe Linton. I can't pick out of them two.
But if I put you on the spot though, which one would you pick?
Miggy.
Go on, Peter.
Miggy was brilliant today.
I thought Miggy played ever so well. I just think for how well he played, he should have got a couple of goals on top of the one he had. But that's football. Are you happy with the 4-4-2 then? I mean, that's 2 wins now. We've beaten Crystal Palace and we've now beaten West Brom. Are you happy with that, Peter? Think it's the way forward?
starting to work. It's starting to work. You know the difference when we play 4 at the back than when we play 5 at the back.
Yeah, I think playing another
We look a lot more attacking.
against Leeds.
Say it again, Lewis.
I think we should play another against Leeds. Play a 4-4-2 again. It's working for us. That's all we.
Well, that's what we're saying. Like, don't play 5 at the back. Don't sit back and just soak up the pressure. But even today, though, it's still, even though we had 4 at the back, it still felt a little bit like 5 at the back because we were giving West Brom a lot of ball, and I was getting a little bit worried that the more we give them the ball, they're going to put one in the back of the net. Obviously, they scored 1, but if what I'm trying to say is, if that had been a better side today, we could have been punished like severely.
Like a top seed, like Leicester, Man U, like them, we could have lost that game easily.
I think we are very, very fortunate. I mean, it's took a very good goal by Dwight Gale to win with, but I mean, how would you have felt if we'd actually only got a 1-1 draw to this? How would you have felt?
I would have been very annoyed with that. I mean, why let West Brom, who have been not so great this season since getting promoted, let them back into the game? But Bruce knew he had to make the substitutions. He got them right. We got that second goal. We got the 3 points.
3 points in the end of the day, it's really good. It helps us now. Like, sitting 11th from the table with 17 points.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, 2 back-to-back wins against Crystal Palace and West Brom. You could, in a game in hand. I mean, you can't really complain with that. We've had 2 weeks off more than other clubs anyway, and there was no excuse for a dodgy performance today. I mean, it wasn't the best on the eye. I'm not going to say, we played amazing, but we got the job done, which we should do, with, 15 days off?
I think so.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So, I'll take that. Well, before you go, is there anything else you would like to say?
Just delighted we've got the 3 points, and I think I'll have some drink tonight.
What you drinking, Peter? Rum and Coke.
Oh, yes.
I don't drink alcohol when you drink Coke, or like...
Hey, it's fine.
That's understandable.
It's absolutely fine with that. There's no problem with that. But, Lewis, it's been good to have you in the stream tonight.
Like, if we can go back to the stadium, we can do the under-21 games again.
Oh, we'll get back in. I mean, give it a few months. We'll be doing the things we enjoy.
I think we won't be going back this season.
But actually, before you go, I mean, your thoughts on fans then, obviously. It's happening down south, but not quite up north yet. Do you think that'll change in the coming week?
I think on the 16th, they're going to have a look at it, because London's are now really high cases now. And they're looking at it, might be banning fans from London and having fans back up here. And all the London be complaining here. Well, that's not fair. But if you look at it, there's a higher rate.
What about you, Peter, on the whole situation regarding fans? I mean, do you think that the fans will get back in up north from the 16th?
We'll just wait and see. I'll give it till when this gets reviewed and see where we'll go from there.
Yeah, that's probably the right move.
Thank you for letting me come on again.
Yeah, no problem, Lewis. Thanks for coming on this evening. Say it again.
I got nobody to talk to because all my friends are at school, obviously.
Don't worry about it, mate. It's nice to have you on the live stream as usual. But we'll have you on soon. But thanks for joining.
Thank you, and the whole way of the
Take care, Lewis. Take care, Lewis.
See you, bye.
Okay, Peter, do you want to stay in, or do you want to answer some of get any questions in?
Oh, go on. We'll answer some questions. See what the people have said.
I'm probably a little bit behind, to be fair. Don't know where am I up to. Where am I up to? Okay, I can't remember where I was now. Great content, Lewis. Okay, I'll put this one in. So I've got. No, I don't want that. Done. One thing I have to say is sitting back is a bad habit of the TOON, and it happened when West Brom got their equaliser. Well, that's what I was saying. Like in the match, we did sit back a lot.
We did, yes. Should never allow that to happen. If you do that, you're allowing the opposition to come. They've got a chance of getting a goal. We did that, and that is what annoyed me out today. Sitting back, getting that first goal towards the end of the first half, particularly, and quite early into the second half as well.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We surrendered the ball far too quickly, and we were just too easy, like passive. Like West Brom, had they been a better side, they would have actually beaten us today. That's my only concern. And that's why I'm quite relieved that we've beaten them 2-1 because, like I say, if it wasn't for Dwight Gale's goal, then for me, we're walking out with this stadium with a 1-1 or potentially a 2-1 reversal. That's what really concerns us going into Leeds. I mean, I was expecting the lads to have a lot more of the possession. I mean, if you go 1-0 up after, 19, 20 seconds, then surely you've got, if you're the home side, you've got to go on and get them, second and third goals before half time. And 1-0, that's what I'm saying. It's never an easy scoreline to defend. You're always prone to the counter attack, and that was proven in the second half.
Yeah, that was the thing. That's why you should never allow the opposition to come into the game quickly. And that's why, for that equaliser, we were slightly punished a little bit.
I think let's be fair, it was coming. When West Brom got that equaliser, I said it. I mean, I wasn't really surprised when the minute I seen West Brom get the equaliser, that had been coming from like the 30th minute because we sat back and we allowed West Brom to play. And if you do that with the possession we were giving them, which was quite concerning, you're thinking, well, it's only a matter of time before they stick one in the back of the net. And to be fair, they made shot went in the back of the net with an absolute rasper.
Definitely, yeah. That's the thing.
Oh, man. Right, okay. To make a point on Jamal Lewis, and this isn't only good going forward, granted, but I seen him bombing towards Darlow's goal, then Johnson's today. Oh, so basically, he was a bit too. Basically, what he's trying to say is he was a bit too defensive. He didn't have his best game.
No, I mean, for the equaliser, you should be ball watching like that. As I mentioned, you should be looking to get a bit more closer towards the ball. You've got a chance of clearing that away rather than just standing where you are. And you've let the opposition man come in front of you, and he's got the equaliser.
Yeah, to be fair, he hasn't been good for a few games, but then you say that.
No, I think I can understand why we've paid the money for him. He's getting it started in the lineup already. But I think he's just got to work on the defensive side of his game, and he'll become the £50 million left back that we've paid for him.
I mean, there's no question that Jamal Lewis isn't a talent. We know that. We know exactly what we've paid for. We know that he's got pace. We know that he's got good ability on the ball. But I think it's a case of, like I say, a lapse of concentration, which is costing him in his game. And to be fair, luckily he didn't hit out properly at that in one of the West Brom players because he could have been sent off. If that went a different way.
Very lucky there. I mean, it was a correct decision to book them both in the first half for a bit of a grapple. Yeah, I think he had to be careful for the rest of his game. 4 yellow cards. Got to be careful not to lose his disciplinary. One booking away from a 1-game suspension. I
mean, there's been talk about Jamal Lewis all week, and there's been talk of Jethro Willems. I mean, would you not bring in Jethro Willems in the January for a bit of cover to help out Jamal Lewis, to give him that sort of competition? Because that's why he's probably not performing at the level that we expect, because he's got no competition and he's not going to be dropped unless it's a cup game.
That's the thing. I would love to have Jethro Willems back here. He was brilliant last season. Loved what he could do as well. And it's good to bring him that bit of extra cover if Dummett's still out injured, because I think Dummett's very injury prone at the moment. So it's a good idea to get that extra left back in place. Then you've got that bit of cover, definitely.
You just wonder if Paul Dummett's ever going to get back into the side, with his injury situation. And that, if we could bring in Jethro, he knows the club, inside out from his loan deal.
Yeah, I would love to have Jethro Willems back at this club.
Just thought I'd get your opinion on that.
He's desperate to come back as well.
Lionel Messi, 17 points after 11 games. Rafa's best after 11 games was 14 points. Getting further into the cup competitions, people need to give Bruce credit. I think it's a style of football that does it for me. I understand Bruce wants to get wins. There's no question about that. It's the style. It's the way in which we're set up in games. It's the way in which we just sit back and we allow the opposition to hit on the counter attack. Go on, Peter.
That's the thing. Yes, if you allow an opposition to come at you like that, you're going to get punished. I mean, take back, for example, games against Brighton. We got absolutely out-battled by that. Spurs were lucky to come away with a point for that. Newport, why did we take that to a penalty shootout?
Yeah.
Man United, we got punished straight away after we got the first goal. At Southampton, that was one of the worst performances I have seen us play this season.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the previous 2 games to Crystal Palace, there was just nothing there. And you're thinking, well, going forward with this side, it's got the capabilities of doing a lot more than it is, but there's just no confidence, in the side. But to obviously beat Crystal Palace in West Brom, like, I'm not saying Steve Bruce is the saviour or not like that, because let's be honest, they're the sort of side you've got to beat. But I just don't like the idea that we're just sitting back at home. And I mean, I seen it this afternoon. I mean, given West Brom like one of the worst teams in the league, the possession that they got, like, I understand if they're going to have a period of the ball, but they had practically the full game of possession.
That's the thing, yeah. Bruce needs to cut out this sitting back, invite the pressure, and allow the opposition to punish us. That's the thing. He's been criticised massively for that. You cut that out of your game, you got a chance of coming out of the game or something. Well,
that's it. Like, that's what's frustrating, because more than anything, it's West Brom. And you look at where they are in the league going into the game, 19th place, they look doomed already. And for the amount of possession that we gave them was quite scary. And I'm sort of drawing a comparison to, like, a side that's higher than them. So if we play someone that's like mid-table around us, or even a club that's in the top 10, a better side today could have actually beaten us, because you can't afford to play like that.
No, definitely not. When you go 1-0 up, look for that second goal.
We just didn't do it. I mean, yeah, we tried, but we just didn't try enough.
Yeah, I think some of those couple of chances before half-time we probably should have taken as well.
Okay, so let's have a look at some more comments. Miggy was blowing his arse off at half-time. Maybe too much effort in the first, don't know, but the same energy in the second half would have dragged him maybe dragged him off. Miggy was decent, to be fair, first half. He took his goal very well. We got the goal at the right time. Anyone wants to score after a few seconds. Like I say, you could argue we could have got a couple of goals in the first half, but we didn't really have the same mentality second half. If it was that bit of quality from Dwight Gale, which got the win in the end.
Yeah, that's the thing. I thought Miggy, he was my man of the match, and took his goal very well. But he's not a right winger. That's the problem.
More number 10, in my opinion. Like, if you keep in that number 10, he's got a freedom to to roam around in that midfield, to make runs, to make some good passes, and yeah, I don't think he's really suited out on the wing, in my opinion.
No, but he was brilliant today. I'll give him credit. He was fantastic.
You know why that was? Because West Brom. They don't have any quality.
No, they don't, unfortunately.
Lewis, who has just been in the chat this afternoon, the referee was really good today. Mr. England, what is that? Because he's from England. He is one of the better referees in the Premier League this season. Hope we can get him more often. Well, it depends on how much Mike Ashley pays for him. If we get him for Leeds, that would be great. Let's have a look. We've got another comment. Who do you think of rumours of Dele Alli coming? Would you take him? Now, I have heard that they're circling around Dele Alli. I would actually take him. I think he's better than what we've got. I think he would definitely do a job, maybe in the midfield. And if they're going to think of pushing Miggy out on that wing, we need someone who could actually do the number 10 role. Because does Steve Bruce think that Miggy can do it? Well, I don't know. I mean, I can't see what's going on inside the training. All we know is what happens on the pitch. But Dele Alli, to be fair, we've been linked with him in the past when he was at MK Dons. I think he could do a decent job. Peter, what about you?
That's a very interesting question. Depends what Dele Alli you're going to get. Because it's understandable why Jose Mourinho has not been picking him. It's been coming out that Jose Mourinho said he's been lazy, and that's why he's not been selected. That is the thing. So, he'd be a decent player, but you can't have the laziness from him that he's been playing this season. And there's a reason why Mourinho has clamped down on him as well.
Do you not think it's down, Peter, to the fact he's down the pecking order to why he's not the same? Obviously, Spurs are improving, but then it could come to Newcastle's advantage maybe if we get him in on loan, because I don't think we're going to spend a lot of money. This January, I can't see we're maybe splashing the cash, but if it works in terms of giving him football, like we did with Andros Townsend, for Tottenham, and who had Nabil Bentaleb last season, but I think you want players on loan who actually know the Premier League with a bit of quality. We know that Dele Alli's got a bit of quality. We know that, but do you not think he could come in and do a job? Like, if he's given more of a freer role at Newcastle?
He could do, yeah. We'll just wait and see what happens with that one. But if you want Dele Alli, you need to have the Dele Alli performing and not the lazy one.
By the way, everyone, just before I wrap up the stream very soon, there is a link if you want to press that. If you do want to come in the live chat, if you want to talk about the West Bromwich Albion game this afternoon, Newcastle beat West Brom at St James's by 2-1. Have your say live tonight. Daniel Grimm, I'd love to see Jethro come back to the TOON. We're solid at the back and can go forward to attack and has power in his shooting. Exactly. He knows where the back of the net is. Do you remember the goal against Liverpool at Anfield?
Brilliant. And I like the goal he scored against Man City as well. That was great.
Yeah, you just wonder why we never made that deal permanent. I know he got an injury and it was unfortunate.
Well, we'll wait and see. I would love to see him back.
But then he hasn't signed his contract at Frankfurt, so there's a possibility in the January he could come to the club.
It's possible.
We've had a comment from Jason Hall. Not the greatest performance, but at least we got the 3 points. West Brom are shocking. Just like Lewis's performance today, what a cross and a goal from Murphy and Gale. Yeah, like I say, it was a good finish by Dwight Gale. I'll give him that. We needed that second goal because would have been down in the dumps if we'd drawn that, because when you look at these sort of clubs like West Brom and Fulham and that, they're not good sides.
No, they're not. That's why Bruce got the substitution right. He knew he had to make the change. Dwight Gale, first one. Get Murphy on. Brilliant cross from Murphy. Dwight Gale was at the right place.
Well, that's it. That's what you want, and you want to see more of that from the lads in general. You want to see that from Dwight Gale. You want to see him, kick on from that. Callum Wilson, I mean, what did you make of his performance today? He wasn't great, was he? He wasn't his best.
Wasn't brilliant. I thought his holder play wasn't so bad as well. So,
yeah. Okay, so Gary says, do you feel Bruce's substitutions today were good? It was nice to see Murphy and Gale come on and make an instant impact. Well, my opinion, yes, because at 1-1, you're thinking to yourself, well, this can't go on much longer. We can't play at this sort of tempo, just sitting back, allowing West Brom to dictate the play, and by us doing that. I mean, it wasn't just something that happened in the first 5 minutes of the second half. It happened sort of the last 15 minutes of the first half. But to see, Dwight Gale come back, from his injury to get the goal that he did to win us the game, is fantastic. We need to see all of our players come back and, do their bit for the side. I did get comments about a new contract. Well, for me, it has to be put on hold. It's one goal, but it's not going to, it's going to do them the world of good. I'll say that, but I don't think it warrants a new contract just yet. Peter, what about you?
Yeah, that's the thing.
I hope we can win the next couple of games, including the cup game, and I hope we can get to the finals and play at Wembley. Now, Leeds for me is a winnable game, but realistically, the way we've just sat in today, it's going to be tough at Ellen Road. There's not many clubs are going to go there and win. I know West Ham did the other night, but you're going to have to work hard against the Marcelo Bielsa side. And then Fulham play possession football, but I think they're very identical to West Brom how they play. It's a game we should look to get 3 points from. Then I think we've got Brentford, again, a must-win game for us to get into the semis. And then you've got the likes of Liverpool and Man City and Leicester coming up, and you could say they're all free hits, the way I look at it. But what's your thoughts on his comment there, Peter?
We've got a chance. Just got to turn up with the correct attitude. Then you've got an almighty chance. Brentford, it's winnable if we're coming with the game of the right attitude.
Okay, so Axel Tunzebi also rumoured, would you take him? Well, first of all, I've never heard of him. And secondly, that's the second I've heard of his name. So do you know anything about this lad, Peter?
Never heard of him as well.
If he's better than what we've got, we'll definitely welcome him to the club. We'll give him a 10-year contract. No. Do you think the Leeds and Fulham games will give us the best opportunity to get into the top 10? For me, we should be looking to win these type of games, to have 3 promoted sides on the bounce. We'll just play West Brom, beating them. Leeds away, I know it's at Ellen Road, but it's still a winnable game. And then Fulham, another promoted side. Let's be honest, you should be at least looking for 7 points maximum from those 3 games. Leeds, I think, they'll be the toughest. But you've your 2 home games against West Brom, which we got today, and Fulham. They're the type of games you've got to be looking to get 3 points in. To be honest with you, against any side of home, you should be looking to get all 3 points.
Yeah, I think Leeds will be the hardest. Fulham, that's the one you should be looking to get the 3 points out of, definitely.
It all depends. To be fair, Fulham could be a little bit more trickier than West Brom because they do have actually a little bit of quality in there. With Mitrovic, we know what he can do. We know how Scott Parker, ex-Newcastle, ex-Maggie, be wanting to come to St James's and try and cause some sort of upset. We've had a snow draw against Fulham before, a 0-0 a couple of years back. So
wasn't it? Oh my God, I was at that game as well. My God, what a ball fest that was.
I've been to a few in my time. Honestly, even going back to like early 2000s, I mean, I've been to a few, even at reserve team level. I mean, even watching non-league football, I've seen it, but I mean, at least I can accept it in non-league level. But at Newcastle, I mean, come on.
Well, hopefully we don't see that when we play them just before Christmas.
To be honest with you, I don't want to see any more draws. I just wanted to see what get at teams. I mean,
go for it. You got a chance.
Yeah, exactly. We've got one more comment, I believe, from Dan, unless anybody else wants to put any more comments in. By the way, if you are new, make sure you subscribe. You hit the like button and you turn on the notification bell. Also, subscribe to PD Proudlock as well on YouTube. Head over and watch his quick thoughts from the game this afternoon. Dan said, I'd start with Murphy and Gale in the Brentford game. I think these two can combine again and make the difference. I kind of have to agree with that, actually. I think Murphy and Gale could do a job against Brentford.
Murphy, I think I'd definitely look to consider starting. Gale, he's just come back from an injury, so we'll wait and see. But
to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Bruce gives Dwight Gale the nod over Callum Wilson.
He did towards the end of last season as well, in a few games.
I think how Bruce will play it against Brentford, and I could be wrong here, he might start Dwight Gale even in a 4-2-3-1 and then give the likes of Joe Linton and Callum Wilson a bit of a break and maybe bring them on second off, see where the game's at against Brentford, if they're winning or we're winning or drawing, whatever. And then look to the games that are coming around Christmas time, because we have got big fixtures like Man City and Liverpool. As much as we want to qualify in the League Cup, which we can do, I've said we can win it, we still need to look at the big games coming up, because if we don't have our best players against Liverpool and Man City, we're knackered.
That's the thing, yeah.
So he's got a difficult job, I think, Steve Bruce, over the next few weeks.
He has, definitely. I think we need to get these upcoming games out of the way, try to get the win, and see. Hopefully, we get something against Man City away and Liverpool. I think the one I'm looking to rule out of getting any points is Man City away.
To be honest with you, with the way this Premier League season's been going, anyone can beat anyone. Anything could happen. Do you know what I mean?
Going with the right attitude, you turn up, you put a performance in, you've got a chance.
Gary said, realistically, who do you think we will sign in January? Now, I mentioned it on Monday, just gone. I think Sam Cosgrove has been linked from Aberdeen for £2 million. I think he'll not be a striker that starts games, but he'll definitely come off the bench and do something, maybe make an impact. He's a young lad. I know he's a bit injury prone, but he's not had. I think he scored 1 goal this season, but he got 23 last season. But when he comes back, he'll be good. £2 million. Let's be fair, it's not much of a loss if he didn't do very well. But we need another striker, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, because the worst case scenario is to get Callum Wilson injured, or possibly another striker injured, and then we're absolutely knackered.
And then the second one for me would be Jethro, who I've mentioned before. I think they're the two.
Any day long.
Is there any players, Peter, that you think, or who you've seen in the papers, who we think we could get in the January that could strengthen?
There is a possible chance of getting Willems back. He's desperate to come back, you can tell. So I think the board have got to look at this, and Bruce have got to say, get this lad back in. He was brilliant for us.
Lewis has said, if you forgot to say happy birthday to Newcastle, 128-year-old. Yes, happy birthday to Newcastle United Football Club. 128 years old. I mean, I hope I'm not 128 years old. I'll be deed. But anyway, Gary says, what did you think of Gallagher from West Brom before he was quite a good player and was getting into some good positions for them? Well, I mentioned it in the match preview. He was going to be the main threat, and he certainly was.
He was. That's why I pointed him out in my preview as well. He's a man right to watch out for. Very talented young lad as well. And make sure we had to prevent him from scoring. I
thought Furlong played quite well for West Brom. I know he got his goal, but to see a fullback score like that, I mean, I'm still a little bit embarrassed now. The way that ball went in. But to be fair, it's a good finish. I mean, West Brom.
It wasn't like still Jamal Lewis.
it wasn't like it was West Brom's big attack. They had chances before they scored. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like it wasn't like as if we dominated the whole game and then West Brom had that chance and then there you go, it's 1-1 out of nowhere. They had chances, so the warning signs were there that they were gonna put one of them away at least.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just glad that in the end we managed to get that second goal and see out the game, because if we didn't do, I am rightly concerned. Actually, we've got a guest coming in. Peter, I don't know if you want to stay in. It's actually Lawrence. Do you want to stay in, Peter?
I don't mind giving someone else a jump in for a change.
Okay, well, Peter, if you want to leave the chat, that's fine. I'll speak to you tomorrow, but thanks for coming in, man. And good 2-1 win for Newcastle, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Yeah, no problem. You as well, man.
Before you go, make sure you subscribe to PD Product on YouTube. Help them on the road to 900 subscribers. Is that what you're off to now?
Next story, yes.
So make sure you go along, drop him a sub. It's free, and watch his content. It's brilliant. And we'll see more of him on the channel very, very soon. So thanks for joining Peter tonight. And we're TOON. How are the lads, mate? See you later.
Cheers, man.
Take care, Peter. And we welcome Lawrence Taylor. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Yes, I'm a lot happier after that. Newcastle 2, West Brom 1. As I just need to charge up my phone because things do die a death. But yeah, go on, explain. How did we do that today, Lawrence? How did we do it?
Well, brilliant start, but yeah, you can. But I think West Brom kind of missed Pereira.
Do you think if Pereira had played today that they could have actually won the game?
Potentially, yeah.
Oh, 1 second. Just balancing things up. Yeah. Anyway, I've got it. So so Newcastle obviously won 2-1. So do you think it's a well-deserved 3 points, or do you think West Brom have shot themselves in the foot?
Well,
how do you think West Brom played? Because I thought they didn't play too bad, but I think that's all down to us giving them the ball, giving them the possession, which was quite frustrating.
Yeah, I think we're kind of gotten lucky, I mean, they just lack cutting edge, and then, we just had to bring ball into the box and Gale headed it home.
What did you make of Dwight Gale's finish? I mean, very intelligent, a good cross by Jacob Murphy.
Oh, absolutely.
So, anyway, let's start off, from the start. So Newcastle obviously take the lead. It was a good, intelligent run by Miguel Brom. It was a good pick out by Joe Linton. Are you thinking 1-0 up after 19, 20 seconds that Newcastle should really have been 2 or 3 up by at least the 30th minute? Because I think that chances.
Yeah, and to be fair, when they equalised, we kind of paid the price for not taking chances we had.
Yeah, that's the way I see it. Like, I think first half an hour, we took the lead. You could say it was a little bit too early because West Brom, they've still got 89 minutes plus the 6 minutes of added on time to get back into the game, and obviously they did do it at one point. At 1-0 up, you're thinking, right, okay, let's go and get that second, let's go and get that third, and with Almiron and Joe Linton missing, you're thinking West Brom with all this possession, they're going to make something count eventually. And it was only after sort of like 25 minutes, half an hour, they started to turn the screw and they started to really open up and get at our defence. We were sitting in, and when Gallagher missed that big chance at the Gallagher, did you think that was in? Because I did.
I can't remember, but
it was a shot from Gallagher inside the box. It was, I think the keeper was inside, so Darlow was inside, and he couldn't quite see it. But I think he looked in sort of surprised because he thought it was going in the back of his own net.
Oh, yeah. I thought Gallagher was all right today, but yeah, when you're down there, you need to be taking your chances.
So, yeah, West Brom, you're thinking 1-0 half-time to Newcastle. I was still on the edge. And I said to you in the group chat, oh, no, I don't think you were in the group chat, that, West Brom, with the possession, the chances that they're getting, they're going to make one of them count. And I had a bit of sneaky suspicion in the second half that they could get back into it, and they did. And when West Brom equalised, I mean, who does the blame go to for you? Was it Jamal Lewis?
Well, it's just cracking strike, but Jamal Lewis needs to be more alert there.
Do you not think it's a team collective as well? Because I mean, it wasn't like West Brom had that one only attack and they went in. They had chances even before half time, so it kind of wasn't a surprise that West Brom equalised.
Oh yeah, I mean, we should have just taken more control of the game, but yeah. And I was pretty worried once they equalised.
Yeah, I was as well. I'm thinking at 1-1, West Brom really started to play, and they didn't really stop that rhythm. And I'm thinking to myself, it's not going to be one of those afternoons where we've taken an early lead and we've dominated, and then all of a sudden we've given a bottom side West Brom, we've given them a lifeline, and then we've basically just gifted them the win on the plate. To be fair, even before we equalised, they had chances to go 2-1 up themselves, and you're really concerned. But I have to give a little bit of credit to Steve Bruce for making the changes when he did, because there's been too many times this season and last season where the changes that he has been making, they've been too late, and we've not really had the impact that we were looking for. And to bring on, to bring on the likes of Jacob Murphy and Dwight Gale, it gives you a little bit more quality to go forward.
Oh, absolutely. And, we subbed off Emil Kraft. It looked like we changed the formation, back to kind of like formation we'd be happy with. And sprinting ball in, and then Gale just, what a header.
It was, yeah. So Jacob Murphy, take a bow. I mean, I rate Jacob Murphy highly. I mean, for that free kick he scored against Wolves, he proved what a good player he was. I've been crying out for Jacob Murphy to get in the side for even before last season, when fans were saying, "Oh, he's not good enough." He's at Sheffield Wednesday for a reason. But that's done in the world of good, to be fair to him. But yeah, talking of the goal, I mean, what a delicious cross by Jacob Murphy to pick out Dwight Gale. Dwight Gale makes that run, that intelligent run to beat the defence. I mean, the fact he's got an open space in the box, if the Gallagher to nut it past the keeper, it's a good finish, like, isn't it? I mean, he hits the inside of the crossbar, bounces in with a power, but it is a shot in the arm for West Brom, isn't it? Because they were doing ever so well.
Yeah, I was thinking West Brom just gonna get themselves at least a point, which I would have been absolutely fuming with. Then that goal just saved the day for us.
You see, I didn't think West Brom were like that. It 1-1, I thought they were going for all three. I think either side were going for it, but I felt like West Brom were going for it more. But it was only that Gale goal which gave away a bit more, impetus to try and maybe get a third. But I just felt if it wasn't for that Dwight Gale goal, the game was probably going towards a 1-1. And for me, I wouldn't have been happy, because it would have been 2 points dropped from a game which, at home against West Brom, a struggling side, a side who are probably going to go down at the end of the season. But Bilic is under pressure. I'm kind of glad in the end that we got the goal that we did.
Oh, absolutely. And
West Brom, like I say, even at 2-1 down, they still had chances to make it 2-2. I mean, they were putting the pressure on. So it wasn't as if like Newcastle dominated the game, because towards that, even in that second half, they had chances.
Well, yeah, and I think West Brom just had to attack where we kind of had to go defensive once we got once we got that second goal.
Yep, so we've got one more comment from Daniel Graham, but if you want to put any more comments in, feel free to do so. I'll be streaming for maybe another few more minutes. So, Daniel Graham, I'll go for Origi on loan from Liverpool for a backup striker. Well, it all depends on how much money we've got to spend. Lawrence, I know you might have overheard, we've been talking about players coming in the January. I mean, we've been talking about Jethro, Willems, Cosgrove. Is there anyone that you would like to see come in Newcastle that could maybe strengthen the side going forward?
Well, in terms of striker, I'm happy to give Gale a run on the side for now. I'd get rid of Carroll. I think Yedlin can go replace back, and bit of an unpopular opinion, but if we were to get rid of Carroll, I'd actually get in Williams in his place.
Is that Jethro, sorry, you said?
Williams, yeah.
Yeah, I think Jethro, he knows the club inside out. I think even for Jamal Lewis, he needs a bit of competition as well, doesn't he? I mean, that's why he's probably not performing how we expect of the big money signing that were made. But I still think there is more to come from Jamal Lewis, but he maybe needs that competition. That's why he's probably not playing his best. But yeah, Jethro, for me, he's a like for like, and he knows where the back of the net is. He's got pace, he's powerful, he's strong. And obviously, he doesn't want to sign that deal at Frankfurt. So it's kind of a no-brainer for Newcastle. I think he's even been saying in media outlets that he wants to come back. So it's obviously up to Steve Bruce and the board to maybe try and rubber stamp a deal. And he knows Steve Bruce from last season. So I don't see why this deal couldn't go through.
I think because of the contract thing, and the fact that Frankfurt manager doesn't seem to rate him, and, I think we might be able to get him at a cut price.
Well, his contract runs out, doesn't it, at the end of the season?
Yeah.
So it's a case of we could probably just get him into
Yeah.
January for a little
Yeah.
bit. And he's got Premier League experience, like I say. He scored at Anfield. He scored against Manchester City, so he knows the league. He knows what it's about. He knows the pressures of playing in the Premier League and for Newcastle. He's played in front of the fans. So if anything, we've got a slight advantage on other clubs that are actually looking in for him.
Absolutely, and I think if there's anyone he's going to sign for, it will be us. But what I will say is, I wouldn't expect him to be at his best form straight away because of his match fitness. Give him a season to get that up, and then we'll see a better one next season.
Well, it's not about rushing him. It's more about making sure that he's settled. You know, he obviously loves Newcastle, and it helps the mood of the club and the camp that we have, and the players. He knows a lot of the players anyway, and he was settled. And I just think it's a case of, you know, maybe bring him on second half to give him that match fitness, and then see where he's at, you know, towards the end of the season. What about other league rumours? Dele Alli's been spoken about. Is he one for you? I mean, I would definitely bring him in if it's going to add a bit of experience. If it's a loan deal at the end of the season, then see where we're at. He's going to cost a lot of money. We know that in terms of like weekly wages. But if it's a loan deal, I'm actually all for it.
Potentially, I think ideally a loan, because I wouldn't want to just to sign only for him to, like, you know, have a bad attitude, because, you know, that could easily happen.
I don't think he will. You know, by the time the fans come back, I mean, we got linked with Dele Alli in the past, didn't we, when he played for MK Dons and he made that big move to Tottenham. I just think with Dele Alli, he needs football. I think his attitude's down there because he's not playing the games that he wants, but he's not the Dele Alli that Tottenham were always relying on. Jose Mourinho is a different type of manager. He wants players that are, you know, obviously got a bit of skill, they've got a bit of quality. Maybe he's just lacking that, and obviously he wants players that are going to play for him and not play for themselves. But I'm not saying Dele Alli's a bad player. I think he could definitely, you know, do a job here, where he's going to be the most experienced, I would say, alongside a couple of others. But I'd say he's going to get the football, and still he's playing for a big club as well. I think it could be for him. England international as well, not to forget.
Yeah, I would. Ali on loan wouldn't be bad, but I think there's other positions we need to look at, like fullbacks.
Is there any fullbacks that you'd look to see? Has there been any rumours that have been flying around on fullbacks?
I haven't really heard much on fullbacks, to be honest.
Okay.
But,
Sam Cosgrove has been spoken about from Aberdeen. What about him?
I'd potentially take him, but I'd rather answer that question like closer to the January window. Yeah,
see where we're at. But right, Lawrence. Well, I think that's it. Really, I don't think there's any more comments coming in tonight. But is there anything else more you'd want to say about the game?
Not really. Maybe I'll say more after see the highlights on the match of the day.
No problem. Well, Lawrence, it's been good to have you in the chat this evening, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Go and celebrate the 3 points. Watch match today. Be happy, and we'll see you very, very soon.
I see you tomorrow, the women's game.
Yes, Lawrence, see you tomorrow for the women's game, and you keep yourself safe. Take care, mate. Bye-bye. So, that was Lawrence. I'm just going to wrap up the live stream now. Thanks for coming in. To those who made a guest appearance, and thanks so much for the comments. Newcastle have beaten West Bromwich Albion by 2-1 at St James's Park. Goals by Almiron and Dwight Gale for Newcastle, and Furlong for West Bromwich Albion. In the end, we made a real meal of it at times, but we've got the job done. That's all that matters. And 3 points. We'll move on to Leeds United on Wednesday evening, looking to get another 3 points and look to climb the table. There will be a match preview for Leeds in the coming days, so make sure you check around the channel. And if you are watching this on the rerun, or if you're watching this now, make sure that you subscribe. It's free. Hit the like button, turn on the notification bell so you're notified for all videos that I do drop, and continue to put your comments down below. I will continue to reply to them off air. And make sure you follow me on social media, TOON Army TV on Instagram and Twitter. And thanks so much for your company this evening. In the meantime, stay safe, keep it tuned, and away the lads.